What is up? BBK Dragoon here. This is my 4th time trying to record this. The first time I talked all about these updates that had nothing to do with the replay. Second time I sort of talked about the replay, but then I got into like another little rant that didn't have much to do about the replay. So I'm going to try and focus here on the replay and say what I need to say quickly and with brevity. So first of all, we're jumping on board with Toast Ghost 1871. Let's pull the email up here. Name, Lindo Mackay's. YouTube account, Black Gold Thunder. Not sure if you post. If you do, spread the love. How long have you played? I've played since Halo 1, but that was very casual on my friend's Xbox when I was sleeping around. I would say I really started playing from H2 onwards, and that's when I got my own Xbox. I'm sorry, not sure how many years that is. That's cool. Sounds like you're a veteran. The game type is, of course, Haven. Is there another map in this game? I can't tell. And it's Infinity Slayer. What isn't working? I never quite seem to have the right weapon or the right loadout for the situations I find myself in, and I'm not sure which spots on the map are good for when I get sniper, especially when everyone is duking it out on the bottom center. Alright, so let's take a look at the replay today. Oh, super quick, I'll get the announcements out of the way before I freaking, get distracted and go on a rant. Number one, I'm sorry that I wasn't able to post over Christmas break as much as I hyped it up to be. I was working a lot more. I'm 22. That's a good thing. YouTube is not my job, everybody. Not even close, not even in a ballpark, but, you know, I'm glad I have the job. It took up a lot more time than I expected, but I'm back now, and hopefully things will allow for me to post regularly and that kind of stuff, but you know how it is. I say the same thing over and over. Number two, what was back at university, but, oh yeah, when I'm doing these replay reviews, this is always on my head. You know, I am not some authority on Halo. There are plenty of people better than me. I'm really appreciative of the position I'm in, that I've been able to just talk honestly about, I don't know, my feelings towards Halo and gaming and stuff. But I just don't ever want this, I don't know, arrogant personality or, I don't know-it-all kind of feeling to come off. Because I'm really not. I'm not that great at this game. I'm just somebody who's, honest, and I like talking about when I game and that kind of stuff. You all seem to enjoy the replay reviews. It's always on my head when I do these, because it's just one of those things. There's so many people who are better at this game. Oh, wait. You calling the scatter shot over damage boost. I huge disagree with this. I think damage boost is the best ordnance in the game, even over incineration cannon, because, man, you can do some extreme damage with the freaking damage boost. But, you know, you call on the scatter shot. It's something to think about in the future, Mr. Toast Ghost. Okay, so now that I got those two things out of the way, we can talk about the gameplay. You mentioned that you're having trouble picking a class. I'm not sure why you settle on light rifle. I think that any gun can work on any map if you're comfortable with that weapon. But I don't see the level of comfort with the light rifle that would probably warrant you using it for the whole game here on Haven. I mean, if you think about Haven, pretty much the smallest map in Halo 4, pretty much the smallest and most shallow sightlines on Halo 4, and the light rifle really shines in the longer distance engagements, the BTB maps. I'm not saying don't use it. I'm just saying that the BR or the DMR, in my opinion, would be a better choice. Since MLG just put out version 1 settings and it is BR only, you may want to start using the BR and getting used to it if you're planning on playing competitive. The DMR, in my opinion, is a better weapon. And, you know, there's a lot of charts. I spent a lot of time over the break actually reading forum posts about the DMR and looking at weapon charts and test data. And yeah, the DMR outshines every other gun in this game by a freaking mile, but I'm not saying that you can't use the BR. I think the BR is certainly a higher skill weapon and can be used more. So think about that when you are picking your loadout. And I know you say in the email that you never seem to quite have the right weapon, right? Well, try and pick a loadout, settle on it, and if the enemy, you know, makes a shift or you need to change your loadout to counter them, go for it. But I don't think the switch to the light rifle was really in response to anything. Okay, on to the sniper rifle bit, because you're about to get an assassination and you're about to pick up the sniper rifle. I've had so little experience with the sniper rifle in this game that I can't tell you where the best sight lines are. You say that the enemy is in the bottom middle, and yes, the enemy is in the bottom middle here, which makes it really hard for you to find a line of sight to snipe down there. I wouldn't suggest hanging up here. I would suggest controlling closed ramp behind you. That way you can peek up and see the top middle, and then you can peek down and see the bottom middle as well. I think that's a good idea. But, man, I just don't have enough experience with the sniper. It never comes up. There's not team snipers anymore. So I can't tell you where some of the best sight lines are, and especially if the enemy is just going to continue to engage down here on bottom center. I can say this, you could use the gaps in the bridges to harass them and shoot down on them, but all you're doing there is trying to motivate the red team to move to a different position to fight where you want them to fight, so you control the engagement, right? And a little bit of a choke right there. It's okay. Sniper rifle just doesn't show up in these games, right? It's a real challenge. So the gameplay is just about wrapping up. Really quick, Infinity Slayer. And I didn't see a whole ton of things that I found wrong. But I'll talk about it a little bit more in the notes coming up here in a second. We're going to talk about the armor ability and the class choice as well as radar. You know, a lot of the mid-game was spent fighting in bottom middle. And I don't know, I just don't like fighting down here. Too many sightlines, too many opportunities for flanks, and you don't get to control with the height advantage. So let's talk about that, shall we? It's an interesting gameplay, and I really am only going to focus on the things that you put in your email because, I don't know, I couldn't pull a whole ton out of this other than some of the things you mentioned in your email. So number one, your loadout choice. You mentioned not feeling comfortable with the choices of weapons in this game, and it sort of reflected, I believe, in the light rifle choice, because I don't think light rifle fits Haven 4 and Haven 4 doesn't fit Haven and its shallow sightlines. I think something like the BR or the DMR is a better choice, and I think you should stick with one gun for a good long while until you're fully comfortable with that gun. So really make the choice. If it is the light rifle and you're like, I want to use this on, you know, each map, go for it, man, and train your light rifle to be the grisliest light rifle out there. I'm just saying, you know, I think this lack of comfort comes from switching maybe too often rather than just sticking with one. I'm not saying that later in the game you can't just switch whenever you want, but something that I really try and do, like let's look at StarCraft, I pick one build and I practice it to death until I'm super comfortable with that one build, and then I move on to the next one. That's what I tried to do with Halo, where it's like, I'm sticking DMR, I'm staying DMR until I'm fully comfortable with that rifle and I know what it can do. That way, I don't throw myself off if I'm switching too often. I don't know if that's an issue for you. You may be able to switch all you want. Just a little observation. Number two, I saw a bit of, you know, misunderstanding concerning the radar. In the mid-game, you spend a lot of time in bottom middle. And I know that's where the enemy is, but you want to control the engagements, okay? If you see the red dot on the radar with a triangle below it, they're below you. If the triangle is above the red dot, they're above you, and use that to your advantage. I would have rather seen more of the top mid control, especially if they're in bottom mid. You can use the gaps in the bridges to harass the enemy, shoot them a bit, pull back, shoot them a bit, pull back, just enough to let them know, hey, we're up here and we're not coming down there to fight you. You're going to come up onto our ground, onto our turf, and fight on our rules. That's, you know, it's harder in Halo 4 because all the maps are really flat and the height control is not as powerful as it was in, let's say, Halo 2 Ascension or something like that, where there's a tower. Or even, you know, Ivory Tower, for goodness sakes. Height advantage was everything. Still, force the engagements on your turf. That's going to be point number 3. Control the engagements by choosing where you fight on the map. Don't rely on where the enemy is to fight or wait for them to engage you. You choose where to battle and give yourself an advantage. If that means you have to play really, you know, slow and boring as you're harassing them up on the top mid, telling them, get up here, we're going to fight up here. You know, that's what it takes. Eventually, they're going to be like, I'm tired of getting poked. I'm going up there. Those guys are making me angry. And then you have controlled the engagement at that point. The last thing you put in your email was you have a hard time finding what spots to snipe with the sniper. Dude, I can't help you much there. Honestly, I don't know the sight lines that well for sniping. I know that I want to keep as much distance between me and the opponent as possible, unless it's the beam rifle, and then it's Snapshot City. But you know, really experiment, I guess. We don't have team snipers, and sniper doesn't spawn on the map. I mean, I would say 1 in every 15 games I get a freaking sniper, and never if it's objective, which is so disappointing. But that's a gripe for another time. I hope this replay review helped. Yeah, ish, maybe. Thank you for submitting it. The title update comes out at the end of February. Quick update to all the comments. Everybody... not everybody, but many folks are asking, how do I submit a replay? I've closed these submissions. Submissions are now closed. We're not going to get through everybody who submitted. But when the title update comes out, depending on what changes are made, that will be the end cutoff for the replay reviews that I received from November, 7th or 8th, whenever I opened it. And then we're going to start and open a new set of submissions. And I won't do duplicates, and I'll try and get to the folks who, you know, people who submitted in this one, I'll try and figure out a way to give priority, I guess. It's just the nature of the beast, everybody. You know, if I was a smaller channel, it's like this. If I was at a bar and there were like 10 of you people, I'd love to sit down and have a drink with each one of you and just chill for a bit. But it's no longer a bar. You know, my channel's gotten bigger to where, you know, I can't review everything. And I never said I would. I said I'd try my best. So we're just plugging along in the order that I received. I hope you guys enjoyed. My name is the Dragoon. I'm back at university. Wow, I talked for a long time. All right, everybody have a good day. Talk with you later. Peace.